Good morning. When we were children, I'm sure we all took some delight in playing hide and seek, and also the relief and the delight of being found. And Trudy was saying recently that it's a delight to hide, but it's a disaster not to be found. And what I'd wish for us today is that this practice finds us. We make ourselves available to this practice. Even though we go to a Sangha, we still navigate the line between hiding and being found all the time, I think. I know I do. A couple of weeks ago, this from Suzuki Roshi found me. He says, calmness of mind is beyond the end of your exhalation. Calmness of mind is beyond the end of your exhalation. And perhaps for a few moments we can just become aware of our breathing, and particularly our out breath together, just maybe 2 or 3 breaths together. Just become aware of that process. And Suzuki Roshi goes on to say, so if you exhale smoothly without trying to exhale, you are entering into the complete calmness of your mind. If you exhale smoothly without trying to exhale, you are entering into the complete calmness of your mind. And after this found me, I have been keeping it very close. During our recent Nothing Missing Sangha Day, I had the unusual experience of not being required to say anything. I took part in the ceremony of opening the Zendo, and I contributed to holding the space with Trudy and everyone, but I had nothing to say. And in this unusual space, and with this awareness of breathing, something different started to happen for me. Something around my busy mind, and it opened up a different possibility for how I inhabited the day and inhabited the last couple of weeks. And when I was invited to choose a talk today, my habitual process of choosing a talk comes into play, which is all of my habits of what I bring to any situation. And when we're asked to perform a role in anything, but particularly in the Sangha, because it somehow amplifies our habits, um, sometimes we don't turn towards what we're bringing to the particular role we're playing. We carry on with it. But after the silence of the Sangha day, I realized I had nothing to say this morning. And this was very unusual because often I kind of want something in place to provide me with some security and something to work on. So I'm looking for the talk rather than letting the talk come to me. And this time I thought, I'll just see what happens. So I'd got to Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and still I had nothing coming at all. And there was a tension between quite enjoying this and also, what if I'm not actually doing what I normally do, which includes some suffering. And I wasn't in control. I was giving up control of what I normally do. And then this interview found me. Um, and interestingly, I didn't approach it as something I would talk about this morning. I just thought, oh, I like the look of this interview. I will listen to it. And it's an interview between Vanessa Abel, who's the editor of a wonderful publication called The Dewdrop, and Hosan Alan Sonorki, who is the abbot of Berkeley Zen Center. And he's just published a book called Turning Words. And in the interview, he defines turning words are words that turn you towards awakening, change your direction. And a turning word for one of us may not be a turning word for someone else. It could be just something somebody said. But I'm sure during your life, from your loved ones, um, from Dharma talks, from just conversations you've heard in the street, maybe there's things you carry and you think, oh wow, that really has stayed with me, and you keep it close. And Vanessa Abel asked Hosan um, about his book, and can you describe two, some incidences of the turning words? Because the book is about the meetings he's had with people that have enriched and supported him in his life and practice. And he said, I'll give you two examples. The first one was 30 years ago when Master Sheng Yen visited Berkeley Zen Center. And his wife, Hosan's wife, Laurie, asked a question for all of us today. She said, what is the most important thing for a lay Zen student to practice? And Sheng Yen said, regulate your life. Regulate your life. So as you hear that, what happens? What do you think it is? What would it be for you to regulate your life? Do you wonder about it? Do you grasp it? Do you think I must work to a new timetable? I must stop doing that. I must start doing that. Regulate your life. And then the second one, he said he was a relatively new Zen student. And this is something for all of us in the organizing group at the moment. It was so timely. He said, I was a new student and I made a tremendous amount of effort in my practice because he was in a leadership role. He wanted to do things right, to get it right. Do you know this sometimes when you start something new and your habits come into play? And he said, I wanted everybody to observe the forms correctly. He said, I had a certain rigidity or anxiety about that. So he went for a meeting with Sojun Mel Weitzman, practice discussion. And Sojun said, You should let things fall apart. You should let things fall apart. How does that land? So for me, there's two things there. There's two turning words. One is regulate your life, which seems about control and about organization. And the second one, you should let things fall apart. And I've had a little more time to think about regulate your life. And it seems to me where I am with it is that all of life has some regulation. When we were breathing earlier, and hopefully still breathing, there's regulation going on. There's a cycle going on all the time. And in our bodies, there's a regulation going on. It's just doing its thing. And outside today, everything is just moving in a certain regulated but dynamic and relational way. So I see it at the moment more as a way of coming into alignment, to attunement with something, to regulate your life. And maybe there are some microscopic things we can do to make our daily schedule more in tune with that and better for our well-being and for well-being of others. And with letting things fall apart, does it mean we don't do the schedule anymore? Like if we grasp that one, what does it mean? So there's something for me about when we hear these teachings, how do we hold them really carefully and not think, oh, this is the new thing? What does letting things fall apart for you? What does it mean? So then another chapter found me. I thought, well, I'll turn to Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and just see which page I come to. And I came to the chapter on Zen and excitement. And I thought, wow, this really seems to be moving in a way that is kind of allowing me to align with some process that's going on. And Suzuki Roshi said, Zen is not some kind of excitement, but concentration on our usual everyday routine. If you become too busy and too excited, your mind becomes rough and ragged. I know this. I know this so well. This is not good. If possible, try to always be calm and joyful and keep yourself from excitement. If possible, try to always be calm and joyful and keep yourself from excitement. And that paragraph really touches me. Something starts to work. Something starts to happen. But at the same time, I think, should I always keep myself from excitement? Really? Is that what he's saying? When Vanessa Abel was announcing Hosan Alan Senwaki, she said, I'm very excited to be doing this interview. Should she not be excited? So it's something about how I meet each teaching and allow it to meet me, to find me, to see what happens. In the same chapter, Suzuki Roshi says this: just continue in your calm, ordinary practice and your character will be built up. If your mind is always busy, there will be no time to build. and you will not be successful, particularly if you work too hard on it. Particularly if you work too hard on it. Building character, and John will like this, is like making bread. You have to mix it little by little, step by step, and moderate temperature is needed. You know yourself quite well, and you know how much temperature you need. You know exactly what you need. And if you get too excited, you will forget how much temperature is good for you, and you will lose your own way. This is very dangerous. So, in our practice, we say moderate heat. Turn towards ourselves. Let the practice find us. Returning to Sheng Yen again, he said, be soft in your practice. Think of the method as a fine silvery stream, not a raging waterfall. Follow the stream. Have faith in its course. It will go its own way inside you. I didn't say that, that's my paragraph, my addition there. Meandering here, trickling there, it will find the grooves, the cracks, the crevices. Just follow it. Never let it out of your sight. It will take you. Something about being found, finding our own grooves and cracks, seeing how the stream of practice finds it, and it will take you. Calmness of mind is beyond the end of your exhalation. Thank you.